If y'all know me, and if you've been here before on this channel, you know Rihanna's my GOAT. She's my favorite artist of all time, and nobody's ever gonna change that. If you are new here, welcome. My name is T. I'm the host of the Blueprint Podcast every single Tuesday here on this channel at 8:30 Eastern Time. We talk about all types of music, everything going through the industry, whatever you want to hear. Rihanna made me fall in love with music. She made me enjoy music the way it's supposed to be enjoyed. Her vibes, her energy always resonated with me, and it had never left, and with this being the first video on this channel, kind of poetic. So what we will be doing today is ranking Rihanna's albums from worst to best. She has given us 8 studio albums in her career. As much as I want a 9th, I'm not delusional. We might not get it, but we'll just give her flowers for what she has given us. Let's go through and rank these albums from worst to best. Coming in at number 8 is her first album, Music of the Sun. Now, when this album did come out, it wasn't really received well by the public. Obviously, her hit Ponde Replay blew up. It went crazy. When Rihanna first burst onto the scene, she was that 17-year-old island, Barbadian, Caribbean girl who wanted to express herself through her music. And all she did was stick to her roots with this album. And I think it was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? When people say, like, this is so-and-so's worst album, when you hear the word worst, you think of bad, terrible, don't listen to this. That's not the case with this album. I went back recently and I re-listened, and Ponde Replay, you know what I'm saying? If It's Loving That You Want is one of her underrated bangers. Let Me, Music of the Sun. That is a crazy subtitle track. That's a crazy track right there. Willing to Wait, dope. You Don't Love Me, dope. Like, I really do enjoy like the Caribbean sound she had on this album, like that reggae sound. It's pretty dope. But obviously she released 7 other albums that are clearly better, and we will be ranking in a second. But as far as this album goes, 6 out of 10. If you want to bump it up to 6.5 or round it up to 7, that's fine with me. But 6 out of 10 is definitely where I put this album at. I'd rather say mid than terrible, because it's not really terrible. But if you don't like a sound like this, then this album is just not for you. You know what I'm saying? So I like the sound, but it's not like it's not like an album that I would revisit. So I would have to put it at a 6 out of 10. But just because it's at last doesn't mean it's terrible. Now, moving on to her 7th best album, her second album, A Girl Like Me. Now, this was a step up from Music of the Sun. She added more elements to this album. Like, she added R&B, she added more dance hall like type sounds. And it kind of worked for her. You know what I'm saying? SOS is a huge banger. And around that time in 2006, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing it. Unfaithful is one of her best R&B tracks, in my opinion. It might be her best, depending on, what you like from her. You know what I'm saying? We Ride is another banger. That's one of my favorite songs. Probably my favorite song off the album. I'm not gonna lie to you. Final Goodbye, dope. Break It Off with Sean Paul, dope. Selfish Girl, A Million Miles Away. Rihanna's vibes were immaculate. Like, and I'm not saying this just to glaze, like, Rihanna's music, it kind of just, it's relatable. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody wants to, like, you have your moments when, you want to hear that, that therapeutic music that, wants to speak to you, because I do that myself. I do. But if we're talking about, like, positivity, a lot of energy, a lot of positive vibes, Rihanna is the artist you should usually go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that anybody exudes that energy like her. In my eyes, for the people I've listened to, at least, there's probably like only a few. But the energy that she gives in her songs and her albums, I don't think nobody does it like her. So, get back to A Girl Like Me. This is easily a step up from Music of the Sun. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. This is a solid album. I don't think it's as bad as people have made it seem over the years. Um, if you haven't listened to it in a long time, I really do recommend you really listen again, and really see like what you were missing. But that's a 7.5 out of 10. It's her seventh best album. Obviously, she dropped more after that, and we're gonna get to those. Coming in at number 6 is Unapologetic. Now, for a long time, this was my favorite Rihanna album. I'll probably say from when it came out to probably say like 2017 is when I kind of like switched it, because I started listening to her other albums more. I kind of like shifted away from it, but it didn't take nothing away from the project. Fresh off the runway, the intro to the album, Diamonds, one of her biggest hits, probably is her biggest hit. I think it is. If we're going off of numbers, popularity, it's between that and Umbrella. Diamonds is definitely up there. Stay is a beautiful song, very, very beautiful. Love song. Her and my favorite rapper of all time, Future, on the same song together, I'll never get tired of that. No Love Allowed is a crazy, crazy deep cut. Lost in Paradise, Nobody's Business with Chris Brown, Numb with Eminem. Like, What Now is a huge banger, stays in rotation. There's so many songs on this album that I love, and I really advise you guys to revisit it. This is like heavy, like deep into her bad girl sound that she converted to. It was elite, and this is during that EDM pop era that really she ran that. Excuse me, like when it came to that 2010 to like 2012, 13 EDM era, Rihanna was easily number one. No question. As far as the rating of the album goes, 8 out of 10. I don't think it's any lower. It's a very cohesive album. Very, very cohesive. I don't think that there is any flaws. There might be like one or two skips, but there's like, as far as production, as far as like the sound, there's really no flaws in the album. But if there's a few skips that you think are skips, because I definitely got at least one or two. If you think there's some skips in there, then hey, there's nothing wrong with it. As long as it's the right song, that's a skip. If you're skipping Pour It Up, we might have to scrap. I'm not gonna lie. Don't skip Pour It Up. 8 out of 10, definitely at number 6. Very, 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 very cohesive, very, very great album from Rihanna, and I do love the fact that it does get the love that it deserves. But there are some people out there that call it her best album. Pump your brakes, relax. Now we're going into the top 5. I do think that this top 5 I think this should be like the official 5. So I don't think any of these 5 albums should be out of the top 5. You know what I'm saying? But coming in at number 5 is Talk That Talk. I do think, if talking about the prime of Rihanna, I do think this album does get heavily overlooked. There's so many songs on here that, I'm not gonna lie, this album is just meant for vibes. It's just meant for vibes. You the One is one of her most underrated hits. We Found Love is generational. Y'all know about that track, man. Y'all know what that song did. And that song is still getting played to this day. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere you go to the store, you just at a function or whatever. We Found Love is, getting a play somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You never go to any place without hearing that. Where Have You Been? The same with that. Like, Rihanna has generational hits that will stand the test of time and will be getting played everywhere you go. Birthday Cake. I'm so mad that y'all leaked that song. Y'all pissed me off with that, but good song nonetheless. And the remix with Chris Brown. Talk That Talk featuring Jay-Z. One of her underrated deep cuts. Farewell is so beautiful. That's the last song on the track on the track list. Farewell is a beautiful song. If you guys never listen to that, please go do it. Cockiness, Drunk on Love, We All Want Love. Like, she got bangers on that album, man. I really do think you guys need to go back and listen to that a little bit more. revisit that, please. I feel like that's her, as far as her prime, that is her most overlooked album, without question. I do think that album needs a little bit more respect. As far as my rating, that is an 8.5. Definitely. I do think that album is very, very good. Very good. I don't think that there's really any flaws. None at all. She just has better albums than that. I'm not gonna cap to you. She just has better albums than that. There's really no flaws on the album. But 8.5 is definitely where I would have it at in terms of ranking it in her discography and putting it up against her greater albums. But Talk That Talk is in 5, and it definitely deserves to have that number 5 spot. But coming in at number 4 is Rated R. Rated R is one of her most pivotal albums because it came after, the entire situation with Chris Brown. That was her comeback. You know what I'm saying? That was her comeback album, and it really propelled her, and it really put her at the forefront of the upcoming EDM era. And the album itself, my goodness, Photographs, Rude Boy, Hard, Rockstar 101, Russian Roulette, Wait Your Turn, Te Amo, G4L, Firebomb, like elite. I'm sorry, it's elite. And I know I might come off as a glazer, but it's just the truth, bro. Like, Rated R is phenomenal. Like, I think that if somebody, and this is my thing, now I'm in the top 4. If you say anything in this top 4 is her best album, you're not getting a complaint out of me. You're really not. Rated R is phenomenal. That is another underrated album, period. Not even just talking about Rihanna's albums. That album's just underrated as hell, period. As far as the rating, 9 out of 10. People might not want to hear that, but that's really the truth. Rated R is phenomenal as hell, man. That is a W project. The bangers. Rude Boy is probably another one of her biggest hits. It could be her biggest hit because that's also another generational one. If y'all do want a video on that, on Rihanna's like top 10 hits, like her biggest bangers that were like propelled into like Billboard or whatever, you let me know. But we're also gonna do other artists. We're not just gonna do Rihanna, obviously. This is not a Rihanna fan page, but you get the picture. 9.5 for Rated R. I said, I'm sorry, 9. I'm sorry, 9 out of 10. I'm sorry. I tried to raise it a little bit. My bad. Now, top 3 time. I feel like y'all should already know the 3. You just don't know where I'm putting them. So, at number 3 is Good Girl Gone Bad, the album that pushed Rihanna into superstardom. The Transformation literally is the name of the album, Good Girl Gone Bad. This album is, man, when you hear Umbrella, it just takes you back. It takes you back. It really does. Don't Stop the Music, Hate That I Love You featuring Neo, Disturbia, Take a Bow, Shut Up and Drive, Push Up on Me, Sell Me Candy, Rehab. It's man, Good Girl Gone Bad. That gave Rihanna the boost that she needed, and it was up from there. It really was. That album is phenomenal. Very, very good. Like I said, if you say that's her best album, I'm not complaining. I'm really not. You're not getting a complaint out of me. That album is generational, bro. It made Rihanna who she is today. And I feel like if she didn't make that transformation to becoming, the bad girl Riri that we all know, we wouldn't have our Rihanna, man. We really wouldn't. I think that she made that transformation for the best, and it really, what else more can you say about it? It's generational as hell. But yeah, Good Girl Gone Bad is at 3, and my rating for it, this is what I'm giving a 9.5 out of 10. If you're talking about everything that went into it, the impact, the hits, the production, the sound, everything that went into Good Girl Gone Bad, elite album, 100%. I don't think that you should put it any lower than top 3. There's no way it shouldn't be in your top 3. But Good Girl Gone Bad is her 3rd best album that she's ever made. Number 2, this is where it gets tricky. Number 2 is Anti. Anti is 2nd. I do think that is her 2nd most cohesive album that she's ever made. That album, man, if you want to talk about generational hits, influence, impact, Anti has to be in that conversation. That is always argued to be her best project. And also, people say that's her best era. The era of Anti, that could be her best era. I don't have it as her best era, but that could be her best era. If you want to, everything that came with that era, like everything that happened in that era, like, now I don't have Anti as her best album or best era, but again, that's not crazy to say. I think, Desperado, Woo, Needed Me, Love on the Brain, Consideration, Kiss It Better, Sex With Me, all generational, bro. The sound, that R&B sound on Anti, like that electro R&B, that's some of her best work. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, speaking of work, I forgot to name that. But that Anti is some of her best work, man. That is the first 10 out of 10 that we're getting. Anti's a 10 out of 10. There's no flaws. Not at all. You can't name me a flaw, and if you are, you're lying. Simple as that. I feel like you're either a liar or you're a hater. It's either one of the two. There's no Anti does not deserve any hate. It doesn't. Seriously. Like, there's nothing wrong with the album. But what Rihanna did with that album, the cultural impact, the sound, the production, the hits, everything. Anti is a 10 out of 10. There's no flaws. That is our 2nd. And all we got left is number 1. And for the ones who know me, like personally, and our viewers, you guys know what I have at number 1. Number 1 is and always and will forever be Loud. Loud will always be Rihanna's best album to me. Always. And it will also be her best era. I feel like Red Hair 2010, Red Hair Rihanna is like peak Jordan. You couldn't stop her. And it's not even just talking about Loud. Her feature run. Love the Way You Lie. All of the Lights. Take Care. Like, Fly with Nicki. Like, the Red Hair Rihanna is generational. So I think Loud is her best era and also her best album. Loud is, there's like a 7-track run on Loud from start to finish. I think it goes like S&M, What's My Name, Man Down are all in that 7-track run. I think it Cheers, Fading. What else is in that? I said Cheers already. Hey man, it's a 7-track run, bro. Like I don't think there's any flaws in Loud. I don't know the exact order, but I know the songs in that 7-track run. So it was S&M. It was What's My Name, Only Girl in the World, Cheers, Man Down. That's 5 right there. I think California King Bed was in that run, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken. And then you had, at the bottom half, you had Love the Way You Lie Part 2. Skin is another one of her most underrated R&B songs, my lord. Yeah, man. Loud is, if I could go higher than 10, it'd be a 50 out of 10. But Loud is a 10 out of 10 album for me, man. I love Loud. Loud is my album. It's my comfort album. It's so energetic. It's so positive. It's so upbeat. It gives you that, living my best life vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I love to do, and I'm doing it, as happy as I can, doing it to the best of my ability. Like Loud is the personification of, you only live once, live your life to the fullest. And that is the energy that I love Rihanna for. That I love that energy she gives. Loud is a 10 out of 10, dog. I'm not going any lower. You can't change my mind on that, especially that. Loud is also her best era to me. There is nothing anyone can do to make me turn my back on Rihanna, man. The things that, her music really got me through, like there were times where, I needed some type of energy. Like Rihanna gets me through the day. She really does. She really helps me, get through what I need to get through on the daily. I can't do nothing but really just thank her for that, bro. Like, your albums do a lot for me, bro. Like, they really do. But yes, Loud is number one. It ain't going nowhere. Loud is the GOAT. Y'all gonna have to cope. But that's gonna conclude our ranking for Rihanna and her albums. The next one we will do, I already have confirmed, will be my second favorite artist of all time, the one and only Adele. So that one's going to be really short because Adele has 4 albums. But I'm glad you guys stayed if you did. If you did stay, like I said at the beginning, hit the like button, subscribe, turn them noties on so y'all know when we streaming every Tuesday, or when y'all know when the video is posted. So I appreciate you guys. For the people who are subscribed, we are at 170. Let's get to 200. Let's run this up. 2025 will be the year of the blueprint. Let's keep going. Let's keep grinding. Let's do what we need to do to get this ball rolling. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Stay with me on this journey. Stay with us on this journey. Shout out to my co-host, YKTS Culture, man. We are here and we're here to stay. Welcome. We are the blueprint. I'm the host T. I'll see you guys when I see you.